BBC Hooniverse.
You're watching the TGM production.
To a brand new omnibus edition. Ages ago, I can't remember now, probably like half a year ago, I said, I'll never make another omnibus ever again. Well, that is true, because I don't call them omnibus anymore. This is... Footage you're about to see is from a series I did earlier this week called 60 Seconds. But this is now called the Unit Blog. Because I'm assuming that's what the Doctor Who website are going to call it, a unit blog. Now, since I made those 3 videos, there has not been a single update. There's not been a whiff of more news, there's not been a whiff of nothing. Which I think, overall, is rather odd. I think it's weird, I think it's odd, I think it's spooky, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know why, but something needs solving about this, right? It's like a mystery that needs unravelling. So, I made those videos thinking, right, I'm going to get a Who news out of this, right? Eventually, I'm going to have to stop making 60 seconds and make Whovian news. But weirdly, that isn't what's happened. What's happened is I've now had to make an omnibus to say, right, since I made that, there have been no new updates, nothing's changed, nothing's been added, nothing has occurred. Which I think is slightly odd. Do I know why that's happened? No. Do I understand what's going on there? No. Will I ever understand what's going on? Yes. Because they'll eventually mention it. They'll have to. Because this can't just be happening and not being mentioned, right? Why, as they say, Rose Tyler's missing? Will this lead to an update? Will they all was there supposed to be something when they all got distracted by the missing episodes? I don't know. It's mesmerising to me. It's mesmerising to you. And it's just relatively confusing because I'm not too sure why that's the case. And I do want to find out more. So, what you're about to see is 3 or 4 films about this news to his unit, but obviously it's now the 15th of March at 6:17 AM, and we've had no new updates since the last. This will be the final, and I'm gonna probably jinx myself, but this will be the last ever omnibus. I'm never gonna call this an omnibus. I'm just gonna call this Unit Blog. Units Blog. I'm gonna call it, and because this bit here is brand new, I thought the reason why I wanted to do this is because I thought to myself, well, I want to sort of tell that there's been no update, but then showcase where I've come from within this news story and the fact that nothing's changed. And I just wanted to add a new section to it. I know I need to talk a lot more about it anyway. So I'm annoyed that there's no new update and I'm a little bit confused. So what you're about to see is more confusion, but just past me being confused. Bye bye. Today we're talking about unit and cryptic messages. Over on the Doctor Who website, there is a section, or whatever, where you can log in to the unit website. On this website, you can do many things, which are read some case files that are left wide open. Yes, wide open. Now, the problem with these case files being wide open, it means you can see the information. Sometimes it's generic, trying to disclose what Codebreakers, the new multimedia event with John Martin. Sometimes it's goofy, silly things. Most of the time it's Osgood, which makes no sense because she's not in the show at the moment. Why include the characters not in the show in the moment? I have no idea, but we'll discuss that in part 2 of this 60 seconds episode. The one that caught my eye, the one that caught the eye of the Whoniverse, is one where they say Rose Tyler is missing in action. They've got a wanted poster or a missing poster. Now, in part 2, we'll read that information directly, unless this all turns to a Who News instead of a 60 seconds. We don't know. But what I can guarantee part 1, and can guarantee in general, this is quite curious. Now, does this mean that the Doctor regenerated into Rose Tyler because some science-fi anomaly occurred and Rose Tyler needs the body back quickly? Who knows? Who knows? Not me. Not me. I don't know. Now, having unit have a cryptic message and having dates on them, and the dates going to nothing, because that also means there's an announcement coming today, or will that happen next week? When will we get this announcement, is my question. How will we know what this cryptic message really means for the real world? Does it mean there's an announcement coming? Probably not. Because from what I can gather, I don't think they've started filming again yet. I could be wrong on that one. But having all these rumours out and about Doctor just doesn't work. So this is interesting because it's come from the official source, the official world of the Whoniverse, which, to be honest, you can't argue with. When it comes from the top dog, you can't argue with that. But what do these unique cryptic messages really mean? Well, join me in part 2 of this episode of 60 Minutes, where I'll read the cryptic messages, and we'll use our sleuth skills to discover what they truly mean. Yes, because why not? Why not? Yeah. So overall, I think that the cryptic messages are fun. I think it's having a login that we can have is fun. Having a version 13 for unit is fun. But why is Osgood sending these messages out and not Kate Lethbridge Stewart? Has she really lost the plot and really given up due after the events of the war between the land and the sea? Or is Osgood the comms director, if I've said those words at all correctly? Because I am now just talking and I don't know if I've said those words correctly. So, that's it for part number 1 of 60 seconds. In part 2, we will read what the cryptic message actually says, and we'll give you an update if this all turns into Whovie news. Because obviously, we won't say the news. We'll just talk about how we know that I am now right, that it turned into a news article, or how we know what's happened further on. And if it does become Whovie news, obviously, I'll record an episode of my web series. What day is it? Monday, right. What's so special about Mondays? Tell me why. Some mum doesn't like Mondays. I don't think I know. Right. Okay. What's Mondays got to do with Doctor Who? I don't know. Right. Okay, so. Right. What are we gonna film? Oh no. Forgot to put the camera in charge. Derry, put it on charge. Put it on charge. Thanks. Now I'm gonna have to do an audio only thing. What was that, Terry? Why do we have to do audio? It's because I film a thing every day, and if my camera dies, I have to do audio because the idea I've got still needs to come out because I'll forget about it tomorrow. No, I can't wait till later because I've got other ideas or other things to do. I've run 33 YouTube channels. Got no time for later. Right. If you're just gonna behave like that, then no. I've got to do this. Yes, I'm gonna alter it slightly because we were gonna demonstrate some other thing. So we're technically altering what we're doing. Technically. But we're still doing it in the 60-second category, 60-second series. This is still part 2, which is what we originally said we were going to do. But it's not the part 2, which is now part 3. This is mainly talking about the fact that, right, there's been no news updates on it, and it seems all a little bit weird. And we have to confirm to the British public and to the world that despite what I've said, it is official. Now, I would have loved to come up with the idea before them, but you know what? I didn't. Yes, I had a visual gag ready set up for this. Yes, but I'll have to come back to that another day. So, if you mind, mate, just shut up and I'll get on with it. Right? Yeah, right. Start off. Take Disco Dave with you. Yes. I know he's rehearsing for a live sketch he's going to do on Twitch. I don't know what he's going to do, but it'd be disco fantastic. Anyway, you need to go and work on that idea you've got, Stupid History, where each week, well, for a limited run, different people tell their favourite stupid historical fact, and then that's it. At the end, it gets turned into something else. But it's a limited run YouTube channel. Take that away with you and toddle off. I don't want that anymore. I don't want that. I need to talk about Doctor Who, so I've not got the time. So toddle off. Thank you. Hello, and welcome to part 2 of 60 Seconds, the audio edition. Now my camera's died, it's charging, and I need to get this out there because I felt that there is, I wouldn't say rumours. Rumours isn't the best word for it. I would say there's sort of doubt, really. In some circles, I don't know many circles where this doubt is actually formed, but the doubt that I can sort of picture is that we don't believe this, right? We don't believe the fact that this whole unit debacle is real. Who's writing them? There's no credit to it. It can't be Ingrid Oliver, because she's far too busy doing other things. Well, Ingrid Oliver who plays, I'm not too sure the correct terminology there. Osgood is a far too busy actor to be finding herself writing things on a website. I think that it's all a little bit up in the air. There's been no more news, there's been no updates. There's not been a lot of information given further on this unit thing. Now in part 3, which was supposed to be this part, we will cover what was actually said on the unit website and we will talk about it. But I was hoping that I wouldn't have to do part 2 or part 3 or part 4 because I was hoping that the official news would come out and then I would have to do a Who Me News about it. But weirdly, there is no need to do a Who Me News because there's no news, which is, I think, is the extremely odd thing about this, is that you would expect that if they were teasing something was going to happen, then you would have thought that you would at least, right, put some news to it. So what I mean by that is that you would have thought that someone would have gone, right, so we're teasing this thing, we wrote this, now we need to sort of inhabit what's going on and actually give some news, and that isn't what they've done. So I'm a little bit confused as to what really is going on, and I hope at some point that gets sort of like fixed, if you will. So what I mean by that is that I hope that someone goes, we need to sort of explain the point now. We need to sort of talk to the wider public and say, right, here's what's happening, here's everything you need to know, we need to let you know about this, and hopefully that happens sooner rather than later, because that's the thing I want. I want that news to come out sooner rather than later, because it'll be more, I don't know, it'll be more interesting, it'll be more personal, it'll be more fantastical, it'll be something that will warrant some news. But again, I do quite like how UNIT are sort of being pulled front and centre on the Doctor Who website, because it gives some sort of authenticity to the organisation. I really do like the fact that they had to you had an option to log in, and you sometimes get UNIT updates via email. I do like how they're trying to do a sort of real life element to UNIT now, and trying to sell UNIT as a entity that is truthful, entity that is possible, and that's what they never did with Torchwood, and I think that's what they missed with Torchwood. There was a lot of scope, is the word I want to use. A lot of scope Torchwood could have done that UNIT are sort of embellishing and taking with them now. So, if I was the creatives at Doctor Who, and if I wanted to, if I said right, can we bring back Torchwood, and then bring back another branch of Torchwood, not necessarily do the Cardiff branch or the London branch, just do a new branch of Torchwood, and that would be what I would do. But because UNIT have already achieved that, it means that you can't do it. And I do quite like what they're doing, but there's no new news. So hopefully in part 3, where I can record it, I'll be able to read out what they've done and showcase it, and then we can get to the bottom of this. Because I do think that giving a date that was going to become at that time didn't make any sense, because obviously they didn't fulfill the date. Didn't go any further with the date. There was nothing really further happened with that, which I would say is technically the downfall of the whole idea, I think, which on every site possible was a sort of bad idea. Having this sort of downfall doesn't always look good in the eyes of, I think, in the eyes of a lot of people. But you know what? They're experimenting, they're doing something interesting, and they're trying to sort of keep the fans intrigued. Because I know there's a lot of negativity within Doctor Who at the moment, but there's a lot of negativity in a lot of things at the moment. Not necessarily just Doctor Who, but Doctor Who is a factor in that. And that's quite sad. From a fan of my esteem, I'm not too happy with all this negativity. I'm Mr. Go-Lucky Positive. I'm the one that doesn't really like giving my negative opinions. I know it does sound like I love everything and I think everything's amazing. And I will be honest with you, for a good few years, I didn't really like Christopher Eccleston, and then at one point I watched, I can't remember which one I watched, but I rewatched Christopher Eccleston's era, like, I don't know, a year and a half ago, and I just fell in love with him. And for years I wasn't a fan of it. I do love The Empty Child. It was a cracking episode. I've always loved that one, no matter. Well, I was never sort of the big Christopher Eccleston fan, but then I became one. I did do that #9 is 10, which I am considering doing sort of a retrospective type thing where I sort of play the thing and then talk about it and explain and sort of just delve into that story more, to make it into like a web series type thing rather than what that was. I think if I revamp hashtag 9 is 10, but utilise the old footage to go, well, how do I develop that to make it a lot better? And that is a possibility I had. Anyway, that's not the place for it. I actually got into a chatterbox there. But what I think is that Unit are doing something unique, something interesting, and I hope it continues, but I hope it like fulfills to something. I hope the ending and the outcome of this is to something. So, there we have it. That is the end of the audio only part 2. Hopefully, tomorrow will be the final part, and then we can move on to episode 2 of 60 Seconds. But what I like about 60 Seconds is, yes, the premise is try and do it under a minute, but it also gives me scope to talk for however long I want, because I can sort of say, well, if we don't get it to the 60 seconds, then that's fine. But I like the idea of calling it 60 seconds because it's an homage to the interview series 60 Minutes. So, what do you think will be the outcome of Unit's cryptic messages on the Doctor Who website? Let me know wherever you're watching this. Rubber ducky, you're the one. You made bath time so much fun. Rubber ducky, you are the one I love. Rubber ducky, you're the one. You made bath time so much fun. Oh, rubber ducky, I am fond of you. Oh, yes, I am. Oh, yes, I am. Oh, yes, I am. So, what are you up to today, K9? What? What, you're off to go and find the Doctor? You're off to go and find Sweep and the Doctor? How are you going to do that? Okay. Whoa. Stay there, K9. Hello. How long have you been there? I didn't expect you to be. I forgot I was going to film today. I was just going to practice because I know I needed to. Let's not mention it. Can we? Can we not mention it? Just don't mention it. Oh no! How did I forget I was recording that? Right. Anyway, waiting for me. Wait, I need to get home. Anyway, hello, and welcome. Yeah, welcome back. Today, yeah. Today we're going to talk about Unit. Yep. We're back to 60 seconds. This is part 3. Let's talk about Unit now. Let me come forward. This is what, if you can see, this is what the Unit website looks like. If you just search up Doctor Who website Unit. So this is what came out. This whole 3-part series has been about. It's all content of Unit. Correspondent is confidential. From Unit Towers, London, UK. Rose Tyler of bracket 2006 cold case close brackets. We love a good brackets. From the dark, or from the desk, not the dark. From the desk of Shirley Ann Bingham, scientist advisor. Oh, right. Okay. It's again. Why I don't agree with Shirley Ann Bingham. It's because Hebe Harris My memory is Maidley, who also plays Shirley Bingham. It should just be Shirley. It should just be, yeah, Hebe Harris. It should just be Hebe Harris. I'm always gonna be, yeah. I can't tell you how fantastic Hebe Harris is. I probably could, and I probably have done. Hello, everyone. Sure, I'm not the only one who's got this in their diary already, but today's the 20th anniversary of the return of Rose Tyler, who went missing for 1 year after Operation Mannequin, MANNEQUIN. It's a Q and a U. Cool. Time Absolute file. As Rose Tyler is currently both missing from this universe and flagged as a complex space-time event, maybe keep an eye out. I've got the Vlix scanning all media channels and the Subwave network. Cheers, SAB. SAB is similar to FAB, which is a Thunderbirds thing, if you're a fan of the Thunderbirds. Then we have our missing poster, which you will see in the thumbnail, because I'm going to add it to the thumbnail. It'll be obviously the same thumbnail as we've had, but I'm going to add it to, because I actually didn't know there was an image. I've not actually looked at this, because I was waiting to talk about this on the internet. This is a FIG1, a missing poster from Rose Tyler from 2006. The missing poster reads, Ahem, where is Rose? It is now 6 months since Rose Tyler went missing from her home. Can you help the police with their ongoing investigation into her disappearance? If you have any information, please call now the new hotline 0207 946 000 or your nearest police officer. Where is Rose Tyler? Now, what happens if you ring that number? I don't know. I've not checked. I don't think a lot would happen. Personally, I don't think the BBC will prepare themselves to have something written down for that. I don't know. So I'm a little bit on the back foot on that one. I'm not too sure what they will have done, how they will have done it, and why they will have done it, right? So, to me, that seems to be the biggest mystery, is trying to work out where that number leads. First of all, why did this article appear? Second of all, does that mean that the Doctor's somehow regenerated into Rose Tyler, and Rose Tyler has to figure out what's going on, and then she can get out of it, and then she dies and turns into the moment? Is that what we're going to get? Or are we just going to have Rose Tyler for that episode trying to figure out why she's the Doctor, and by the end of the episode, she's sort of managed to get out of the Doctor's body, and then the Doctor will be able to regenerate into the next Doctor, or degenerate into Ncuti Gatwa? I don't know. Because all roads lead to it now being Rose Tyler. All roads hopefully lead back to Ncuti for a bit. Because I do think if we have Ncuti back for this special, and then if we have like at least a special 2027 at least, then he can regenerate there. That'll be perfect ideally. But what will probably happen is there will probably be another Doctor. Rose Tyler, he'll go, what's going on? And then she'll spend the whole episode trying to figure out why she's Rose Tyler. Turns out that the toy maker had caused this, or the meddling monk, or the Rani, or the Master. My bet is on the meddling monk, if anything. But I think that would be interesting, because that would showcase that a villain's done this and then she's broke free. So I think what we might get to see, where Rose Tyler's up to now, where she's living, what's going on, and all this. So I think having it as Rose Tyler would be an interesting way to sort of utilise this. So there we have it. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. I'm not doing this again, by the way. 60 seconds is over. It's ended. It's kaput. Thank you.
Don't forget to subscribe to the official Tom Mason YouTube channel